Madelyn Jackson and Jennifer Peterson are TOSAs with Val Verde USD. They have set up some really interesting programs around their SARTS and their home visits to address chronic absenteeism. And we're delighted to have them as a RaaWee partner and have them here to share their program with you. Thank you, ladies.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Madelyn Jackson. Like she said, I'm one of the attendance specialists here at Val Verde Unified.
I'm Jennifer Peterson. I'm also one of the attendance specialists here at Val Verde Unified. If you want to go ahead and click the next slide. Just to give you a little background, we are halfway in between LA and San Diego in Riverside County. And our district enrollment currently is 19,361. We run generally around 20,000 students. We have 22 school sites. 12 elementary, 4 middle, 3 high school, an alternative high school, an online program, and an adult program. So these are just kind of our subgroups that you're looking at and our chronic absentee rate. We're going to talk a little bit more about 2019, 2020, because unlike some districts out of state, last year we were on distance learning. And so all the data from last year and this year is a little bit different because of everything that's gone on. So we're going to go back to the bones of our program that we've been doing now for about 11 years. So we're going to start off just a little bit about introducing.
The biggest keys to our program, I think, is that we focus on chronic absenteeism in our program. We also focus on truancy, but chronic absenteeism is where we focus most of our attention.
Okay, so I've been doing this job. I'm a teacher out of the classroom, and I've been doing this job for about 11 years. And I'd say there's 5 of us to run the entire district. We're all leads at certain school sites in the district. And our bread and butter is SART, absolutely. We have in the past about 70% save rate for when we get to parents early. So in the state of California, just to give you a little background, we don't really do truancy anymore. We do have to notify at 3 unexcused absences, but that's kind of where it ends. And everything here in the state of California is called chronic absenteeism. It's a program that we've been running exclusively for 11 years. And definitely something that took a while for us to get going. So we run our letters, and we work with the district attorney's office, but we run our letters first semester to stay around that 9–10% absence rate, because we have to at 3 for our first letter, our warning letter, and then 5 for a SART meeting, and then 8 for a SART. So we are personally meeting with the parents, the 5 of us, at the SART meeting. And then at the SARB, today we have SARB down there in our conference room today. And we have a whole panel, including our district attorney for the County of Riverside. So,
and then for semester 2, the numbers may seem a little bit low. For example, obviously our numbers change because the more days that we're in school, the percentage starts to change for chronic absenteeism. So we do our letters for at 1, at 5, 9, and 13, and it may seem like, why are you meeting with kids at 13 absences for SARB? But our goal as a district is to prevent chronic absenteeism. So we try to meet with parents early and be preventative, as opposed to meeting with them after the fact when they've already racked up a lot of absences.
Okay. And we meet with students at secondary along with their parents, and we also, for our elementary, we primarily just meet with the parents. Again, we're running around the 10% absence rate, as you can see with those. Next slide, please. Okay. So this is the foundation of our entire SARB program. Like I said, we've been doing this. I've been here for 11 years. This is my 11th year. And I think what has given us the biggest bang for our buck is creating a culture of accountability. So when we started 11 years ago, it was a process, and the more the process took place, the more parents talked to each other, and the more parents realized, oh, these people are going to ask me about my attendance. They're also going to come to my home. They're very concerned, and they're teachers. So everything we do is from a teacher standpoint. Because we know that attendance affects not only, of course, ADA, but it also affects student achievement, our dropout rates, everything. So our A through G, all these things that we have, all our requirements. So we have really created a culture, and parents are very aware that we take attendance very seriously here in this district. We have a strong relationship with the district attorney's office. Of course, we never want to refer parents to the district attorney's office, but when we do, we have complete support from them. We also have, of course, just team effort, support from district level administrators. We have some great ideas that come out of each of our school sites that lead in elementary and middle and in high school. And of course, we have 5 teachers on special assignment to run the entire SARB program. A lot of schools in California use their assistant principals to run the SARB program. Here in Val Verde, they've invested in 5 TOSAs. We've been recognized in California 4 times for our model SARB program, and our highest overall ADA, of course, pre-COVID, was at 96.7%, and we're very proud of that. So that's especially for where we live. We have no busing here in our district, and I'd say it's probably, I don't know, about 10 miles to 20 miles across our district. So, and complete boundaries. All right.
Jennifer,
Yes.
for our attendees outside of the state of California, if you could just define what SARB and SARB mean, I think that would be a better.
Yeah. Okay, so SART is we're required to meet with parents. So a SART is a student attendance review team meeting. And at that point, you have to meet with a parent and offer them resources. We have a lot of resources in our district that we offer. We employ about 30 counseling therapists. So we have a lot of mental health resources that we offer. We'll offer bus passes, transportation, programs for homeless, programs for foster, anything, tutoring, linking them up with teachers, all kinds of things that we'll offer at that SART meeting. We personally hold them, like I said, a lot of school districts will use assistant principals to do that, and I'll give you like just an overall number. So we held last year somewhere around, or the year before, sorry, before COVID, we held somewhere around 4,000 SART meetings in a school year, the 5 of us. So we met or spoke with over 4,000 families. And then SARB is the next step if you continue to be absent after that, and that is here at the district in our conference room with our district attorney, and that's a student attendance review board. And from there, if you continue to be absent, it does go to mediation with our district attorney.
And the beautiful part about our SARB meeting is that we have a diverse group of people to help us with resources, additional resources with our family. And generally the way we run it is we see, we kind of like look at our notes beforehand to see what resources we've already offered the family. We discuss with the board what we see the problem is and how we think we can assist the family. And then when we meet with them, we have the district attorney there to kind of warn them that if their attendance gets worse, that it could, go further. And then we also always have mental health there. We have a district nurse available in case it's like a medical issue. We have a diverse group of people. We always have Spanish speakers at the meeting in case that translation is needed for our families, because generally here in Val Verde, we have a lot of Spanish speakers. So we always have at least 2 people here that speak Spanish to help the parents. And then for secondary, our students are always here at the meetings with their parents, so we can discuss with them their choices for their attendance issues.
So not also on top of doing all the SARTs and being the lead at multiple sites, we do home visits. So anytime that a student, anytime we get a phone call for millions of reasons, we wind up at going out and doing home visits. So I would say that we conduct about 1,750 per year home visits. And that's just us, the TOSAs. We do have our own police department, but that's just us. And we'll do it whenever a parent misses wellness check. We get special ed paperwork signed if we can't get a hold of the parent. I have multiple parents call me because their kid doesn't want to go to school, so we go pick them up. We have our own district cars that we drive around in order to help students. So,
and we find that this home visit process in our district has really been, like we wrote here, the bread and butter of our program too, because many times when parents have meetings and they come see us, they don't take it as seriously, but when they see teachers coming in a district vehicle to their home to talk to them about their students' attendance, they tend to take it more seriously. As an example, yesterday I had a parent that did not attend their SARB meeting, so I went to the home and I found the student and the parent at home, and that day the student went to school that day as a result of the home visit. So it's really an effective process to help parents and students understand the importance of going to school every day.
And it's just personal. We also document every single interaction with our parents in our program. It's called ARIES, so that we have a complete log when it comes to our final step. So most people will have 4 or 5 logs of interventions prior to even going to SART. So we do a lot of work, and this year is even more. So we also do that for residency verification because we have a lot of students who say they live one place and don't necessarily do. So we also go out for that reason.
And the nice part about this here too is that since we've partnered with RaaWee, we've gotten access to an app that allows us to put in routes for our home visits. I really enjoy this app this year too because we're able to add students, and then we can write notes in the app and then eventually upload them onto our system to copy and paste into ARIES. So it's been a very effective tool for us now that we're partnering with RaaWee, because home visits are definitely what we do most here. So RaaWee has really assisted us in kind of like making the process easier by being able to document everything. And it even has the option to say the parent isn't home and we have to leave them a door tag at the door. We can take a picture and upload it onto the system. So it's been a great tool for us this year.
Okay, you can do the next slide. Thanks. Okay, so that's just for our purposes. This is what our assignments look like this year. It also shows all our mediation dates, if you'll see down there in the corner, and all our SARB dates. We have 2 SARBs starting in October, and in January we'll do 3 SARBs a month in order to reach parents. And then we have DA mediation, which is going to be down in our Riverside courthouse, and we do that once a month if needed, of course. Next one. Thanks. All right, so I just wanted to give you a little example of the contract that we use for when parents come in. It's just the resources that we offer in the Ed Code for California that you'll see here on our contract. It's also been approved by our district attorney. And it has all the information that we talk to parents and students about. And this is also an example of a student who received a home visit. He received a home visit at 9/27, and you'll see how much his attendance has improved. It's not perfect, but it has improved since that home visit. So I just wanted to give you an example of the effects on students of home visits. And this student is now passing all his classes also, which is very, very important.
Go ahead. So if you have any questions, you can always feel free to email us or call us. But I will say that our district has been doing this program for a really long time, and we've been always trying to find effective means to improve our program. But yeah, if you have any questions for us, you can always feel free to reach out to us.
Okay, so we have 1 posted question so far. Please add your questions to the question box. From Maria Soria, who is part of your SARTS meeting?
Go ahead.
So in the SART meeting, normally it depends. If it's at the elementary level, it's just, for instance, one of the attendance specialists like Jennifer or myself and the parent. That's it. And we typically kind of just talk one-on-one. So I know some districts usually will do like group SART meetings, but we find that it's more effective when we just meet one-on-one with the parent to kind of like individualize their plan as to how we can improve their attendance. At the secondary level, we always meet with the parent and with the student as well. And it's, like I said, it's just us, the specialists, that meet with them. Obviously, if there's a special circumstance where the administrator or someone like a counselor wants to join us for the meeting, we always we welcome it because the more hands in there, the better. But yeah, normally it's just the specialist and the parent, or at the secondary level, the specialist, the parent, and the student.
And then for our SARB panel, we have a district attorney. We have an advocate from our justice center there. It's like a social worker. We have a district nurse. We have a district attendance person. We have our director here of child welfare and attendance. All 5 specialists are there, several of which are bilingual. Let me see, who else do we have? Oh, and our mental health therapist.
Yeah.
So we always have a representative for our mental health program.
And in the past, sometimes we do too, someone from our police department will join us as well.
Okay, the next question. Do you typically see progress after the first home meeting, or do you feel it usually takes a few before seeing positive results?
No, like I said, our bread and butter is SART. It's where we get our biggest bang for our buck, and by doing it individually with the parent and because a lot of parents, you know, they have their stories. They want to get it out. They want to tell you their story, and they want someone to listen. And it's those, just like the last presenter said, it is about creating relationships, 100%. Even though we are taking these people through the process, for the most part, we maintain very good relationships with our parents. We're teachers and we know how to do that. So that's a good thing. So I would definitely say that first meeting will save about 70% of them, and we won't have to see them again.
And many times our parents aren't necessarily aware of the amount of days that their student has missed. So we actually print out the student's attendance and we show it to the parent and we say, look, this is how much school they've been missing. And 9 times out of 10, they're like, oh, wow, I didn't know that was that much. And they work, and we establish goals with the family to help them improve. And normally 9 times out of 10, they improve.
And RaaWee has a great program too. They have a calendar that you can access that shows the parent exactly how many days so far that the student has missed. And I think also another great tool, it's a small thing, but I think it's a great tool, is we always talk in weeks and months with parents. We never say 3 days or 5 days. We say they've missed a week of school, or they've missed almost 2 weeks of school, or they've missed a month of school. And that way parents understand, because we've only been in school for 3 months and your kids already missed 3 weeks. How, you know, do you understand how that's affecting them academically? And we always bring in grades, always 100% bring in grades, so that the parents can see the correlation between missing school and student achievement.
Next question is, what is the name of the app you use for your home visits?
It's through RaaWee. It's I'm pretty sure it's the RaaWee K-12 iApp. And you know, actually, one of the things I was going to mention, piggybacking off Jennifer, is that the reason I like it too is because in the past when we've had SARB meetings, we've kind of had to on our own keep track of who we've already met with to see who we would need to refer. But the RaaWee system has a student monitoring program embedded. So if you don't want to forget about meeting with the student, you can actually set a monitoring for that student to see if they've had additional absences after SARB, and then therefore refer them to DA. Or if you say meet with a parent for SART and you're not really concerned about the student, but you still want to be able to keep track of if they miss again, you can implement that SART or that student monitoring. So that's one thing that we've all been utilizing, as well as that program.
I think the app's great too if you have a lot of home visits, because we of course have meetings a lot, but we'll have a day where we're doing like 18 home visits.
Yes.
And the app's really great because you're going to put in all 18 addresses, and because of the size of our district, it will give you a route to every single one of them. So in the past, we've had to do like our own mapping program, but RaaWee is really good about that. I think the app is invaluable, especially for us.
Yes.
So Bailey Wagner asks, does your district have social workers at each campus that work on the attendance with your team?
No. We don't have social workers, but there are counseling therapists at each school site, and some of them have credentials as social workers, but not one at every site. It's just kind of like a broad umbrella of mental health therapists that have different credentials. Like some are social workers, some are marriage and family therapists, and so forth, but not one at each site. But there is a counseling therapist assigned to each school site.
Great. Okay, last question here is, what specific strategies do you implement at the elementary level?
Well, initially meeting with the parent. And I think what Maddie said is a really good thing, is that a lot of parents don't realize how many days of school that their students have been out. A lot of times there's myriads of reasons why students aren't going to school, especially in elementary. Sometimes it's transportation with our parents. And so we talk to them about that. Definitely the mental health issues that a lot of our students have, and giving that mental health referral. A lot of times it's tutoring. A lot of times it's talking to them, because we have a specific, it's called PAPER. It's a specific tutoring program that we have. Sometimes it's closed, so we hook them up with our foster liaison, who then gets them free clothes or shoes. We have a whole backpack program here in the district. Those kinds of things seem to work best. But honestly, sometimes with elementary kids, it's just parents not realizing how many days that their student has been out. It's also important to talk about medical issues, because a lot of kids with asthma and those kinds of things, it's just giving personal experiences of our own as parents to them about, hey, you should do this, or you should advocate for your student in this way to the doctor, and hooking them up with our district nurse. We do have, just like teachers on special assignment for attendance, we have RNs that we have 5 or 6, I believe. And so they're assigned to each school. And a lot of times it's medical with the little guys. And so then the district nurse steps in and talks to the parent.
And we also have conversations with our parents, because, you know, most of the time when it's an elementary problem, it's not necessarily the student that's having the issue. It's more so a parent that doesn't understand, you know, the reality that they have to take their kids to school. So when we actually go visit the home to talk to the parent, and we let them know, like, you realize that you're affecting your child's education by not bringing them to school every day. And those, just like we said, one-on-one conversations with them really help.
Great, thank you so much. A special thank you to Jennifer and Maddie. They've actually stepped away from a very, very busy day to be a part of this, and we want to thank you for making that extra effort. Their contact information is below here to reach out to them directly if you have any more questions, or you can put your questions into the question, and we'll make sure that they get addressed after the event. So thank you again to you and your team at Val Verde.